So, as you can tell, I just shaved everything, my mohawk, clean shaven, because Lyft is altering their story now. They're saying it's not because of a poor star rating, but because I've had too many complaints about appearance. But you know what? It's a free fucking country, Lyft. We should be allowed to dress the way we want. After all, we're our own bosses, aren't we? Anyways, I digress. This video is supposed to be about the dangers that a driver faces, and hopefully, after they are revealed, you can see some change in the way drivers are handled for both Uber and Lyft. First and foremost, firearms as a means of self-defense are not permitted in Uber or Lyft cars. Question 1 is raised. What criminal do you know ever that followed the law? No, I do not have a firearm in the car. I am following regulations there. However, this brings me to the dangers that a driver faces. I'm going to reveal a few of my stories. So, it was shortly after starting for Uber. My girlfriend and I were fighting. And I was working the late shift. I wanted to give her some space. Time to cool off. I was working about 1:30 in the morning off of Coast Highway in Oceanside. And what turned out to be my last fare of the night, because I was very shaken afterwards, called me. I answered the call and proceeded to his pickup. I immediately noticed something different about this gentleman, and to say he was a gentleman is to use the term lightly. There was something wrong with him. He just did not seem like a normal individual. Upon getting in my car, he immediately, without requesting, went for his cell phone. He called someone whom I do not know. And the conversation was as follows. Yeah, I'm in the Uber car now. The person on the other end said something that I could not make out. The next line sent up red flags all over the damn place. No, he looks like he would be a pushover. Okay. So, one can only speculate what was going on, what was being said in the conversation. I immediately attempted to change topic. I immediately tried a cheerful conversation, and apparently it worked, because the person in question got out of my car at their drop-off location, no questions asked. The next event, I picked up a gentleman from San Diego International, and this was about 5:40. That's where the 4 came in. It was 40. It was about 5:40 at night, and there was traffic on the I-5, which was the route we had to take to his drop-off location. He had me drop him off at an above 5-star resort in Encinitas. This was an hour and 40-minute trip due to traffic. So, needless to say, I had to use the restroom badly by the time we got to our location. I immediately parked the car and asked the usher, hey, can I park the car back here and use the restroom? It's been an hour and 40 minutes. My back teeth are floating. I've got to use the bathroom bad. The usher looked at me and says, man, I wish I could, but you see that van over there? And he points to one of those Mercedes-Benz big, tall boxcars. Completely blacked out windows. And I says, yeah, what of it? Armed guards. So I'll tell you what I can do. There is a 5-star resort just down the hill. They will let you use the restroom. But, and I can't stress this enough, you have to come up and out the way you came in, exactly the same way. Okay. So I entertained the idea. And before hitting the main road, I had an SUV and a sedan with those same milky white paint job and blacked out windows hot on my tail. I drove around for about 30 minutes. They were still on my tail. Luckily, I was in San Marcos at that time, and I know San Marcos like the back of my hand because I was born and raised. So, I went into Lake San Marcos and lost them. I immediately went to Costco, not wanting to lead them to my house, to go shopping. Costco was closed, and I didn't get very much done. But those are just two very shaking experiences that I have had working this job. So to say that there isn't a level of personal danger would be a fabrication. Next, you have to pay for your own insurance with 0 discounts, and it has to be a very high insurance. You have to have a $100,000 policy. You could freaking almost replace a Ferrari for that. But it's understandable because of the fact that, well, you're on the road all day, every day. Your job is literally to drive. So, accidents are a much higher risk for us. There's another danger. When it comes down to it, I have summarized everything because videos can only be so long on YouTube. The fact is, drivers face many dangers, from individuals who are unstable to downright dangerous and just have not been caught yet. Because as far as I know, neither Uber nor Lyft do background checks on their passengers. It's only their drivers they do background checks on. Understandable, they're representatives, partners. Although the way that I'm being treated with Lyft, I'm a slave. So, you've got the danger of unknown individuals, you've got the dangers of accidents, you've got the dangers of harm, physical harm. If you're renting the car, you're not guaranteed work, so you've got the danger of going into debt. You've got 0 medical provided. You have to buy into the pension, which is understandable. You know, most medical plans you have to. However, you don't make enough. Yeah, there are weeks where I've made upwards of $800, but you have to take into consideration I have to pay the lease, I have to pay the insurance, I have to support a girlfriend, I have to pay rent, by the time that all is said and done, there's barely any money left. Drivers don't make enough. And the sad thing is, my rent's only $500 a month. That should tell you something right there. So, are drivers being treated unfairly? Even after all I've been through, I'm still trying to portray Lyft and Uber as somewhat of a good companies. So I will say there is room for improvement. I will not say it's unjust, but it is most certainly not fair. Uber just let go of 20 drivers under suspicion of sexual harassment. I personally was put on suspension for suspicion of driving while intoxicated. This is my first full day back, and it's not even going to be a full day because I have to take my dog to the vet. And when I'm asked support, why can't you guys put cameras in the cars? Their response was loaded, of course, because our customers, we have found, are uncomfortable being recorded. Well, if they're uncomfortable being recorded, they obviously have something to hide. Uber, Lyft, open your eyes. This is grounds for a lawsuit because you guys are going on hearsay. Customer is not always right. Whether or not the customer likes being recorded is not the topic at hand. Whether or not the driver is innocent and being treated fairly is the question at hand. So the passengers can grit their teeth and swallow it. Drivers need cameras. And my first customer of the day today, we got on the topic of an accident that happened last week on Friday in Vista. A driver under suspicion of driving while under the influence, not an Uber driver, just a everyday Joe, rolled his pickup, hit 2 joggers, and killed one of them. My passenger then proceeded to say, modern cars should have breathalyzers in every single one of them. That way, the car won't even start if they are under the influence. And I totally agreed. I said, I was just put on suspension due to suspicion of driving while intoxicated. I am all for breathalyzers. And then he added, some people can bypass those things. And then he's like, oh, wait, you can put a kill switch on the ignition if they bypass the breathalyzer. Which is another valid point. So, see, if your driver is an honest driver and is a good employee, he has nothing to hide, and therefore cameras and breathalyzer tests would be supported by this philosophy. If your passengers are uncomfortable being recorded, then you simply state in your policy it is for driver safety. If they elect not to use Uber or Lyft at that point, that's fine. You operate in more than one country. You're not going to be suffering just because one customer does not like being recorded. The whole obstacle here is driver fairness, driver safety. And you guys have blockaded my suggestions at every turn. What do the customers have to hide? What do your drivers have to hide? Ladies and gentlemen, audience of all kinds, I ask you, are we being treated fairly? After all the videos you've seen, you make your own opinion. Are Uber and Lyft drivers being treated fairly? In my opinion, there is most certainly room for improvement. However, support representatives are blasting my ideas at every turn. This is a job. This is a means of livelihood. And when you mess with it, you mess with a person's life. It's not fair. So the answer is, altogether, no, drivers are not being treated fairly. But I hope that Uber and Lyft will improve. It is my great hope. Do I want to make a career out of this? No. I would like to get on my feet and find a better job, potentially even start a business of my own so that I am not answering to customers. Because I'm really not a people person. I am very opinionated, and a lot of people don't like that. I can be as friendly as anyone. But the fact is, I am very opinionated and very susceptible to another individual's moods. I can sense if a person's in a bad mood or a good mood, and it affects me. So if I get a customer that's in a bad mood, of course I'm going to get into a bad mood. If I get a customer that wants to be quiet, then on with the music. And I am very cautious as to the topics that I discuss, because I don't know who I have in my car. So a lot of the times, unless the customer is influencing the conversation, I become quiet. It's not because I'm trying to be rude. It's because I'm trying very hard to be cautious. Because you never know who you're getting in your car, and you can say one wrong thing, and there you go, you lose your job. Because Uber and Lyft go on customers only. They do not listen to the driver feedback. I just reported my second fare of the day was being very, very rude because GPS did not have the right location, had us going all over Hell's Half Acre. I says, ma'am, well, I apologize, but GPS has been doing this for every driver, not just me. You entered the location, so Grand is right down the road. We'll go to Grand. So we got to Grand, and she demanded to be let off in a shopping center about 500 feet from her final destination. I can guarantee you I got a poor star rating because of it, but before even leaving that shopping center, I reported the incident, so hopefully it doesn't go against me. But it all comes, what support wrote me back was it all comes back to the terms and conditions, where drivers and passengers are they're not allowed to be rude to one another. And so, no, I'm not trying to be rude to any of my passengers. They are my paycheck. You know, I understand that. But, you know, when I am quiet, maybe my customers take that as poor manners. I don't know. I'm just not the type of person to talk about just any old thing. Now, if we get onto a topic of my interest, I will repeatedly say, if I am offending you, please, by all means, change the topic. But, no. It's a dangerous job, and drivers are not treated fairly on premises of suspicion. You're suspected of being a danger. You're suspected of driving while intoxicated. You're suspected of sexual harassment. There is no grounds to prove this. Now, yes, an individual, an illegal immigrant, a known criminal, posed as an Uber driver most recently and raped a young lady back on the East Coast. However, those 20 drivers that were fired for sexual harassment, how many of them were actually innocent? That's a question we will never know the answer to because we don't have cameras in the car. I mean, hell, as soon as I get a customer, I have to stop recording. Because, you know, as soon as the call comes in, Uber comes up and the camera goes off automatically. I'm caught mid-sentence somewhere. I really should change the name of the channel to a day in the life of an Uber driver, because now I'm no longer working for Lyft. Wrongful termination. At the worst, I had a 4.3 star rating, and the max you can have is a 5-star rating. I was given 12 hours to improve my star rating and need 20 rides to alter it by 0.1. So yes, for my audience, I have contacted an employment attorney. I am waiting on a phone call from him. It doesn't look like I will get it back today. You will most likely see this video go viral because I'm about to make Lyft famous. Uber's been in the limelight in a negative manner long enough, folks. Lyft has been skating under the radar because of them. Either show the negative ways that they treat their drivers as well, or stop talking about Uber altogether. It's just not fair. And what they did was not fair. But we'll see what the attorney has to say. Anyways, I'm home. Time to take my dog to the vet. I will catch you all later.